Okay.
Hello, good morning, Miguel. I'm not gonna do any more introduction. I want to say happy
Yeah.
birthday in behalf of Sir
Thank you,
Sonny.
Eileen.
Thank you so much for doing this. Just to let you
Of
know, Sir
course.
Sonny and I go way back kasi. So when he came to me and said, "Oi, let's do this together," I kind of like pulled all the resources that I had available in Ignite, and Miguel happens to be one of those. So I'm kind of like sitting in the middle of being Ignite and also being Sir Sonny's long time parang what do you call this? Mentee in some way. Happy birthday again, and hopefully we can help. Yung birthday gift baliktad. Yung birthday gift galing sa'yo, going to the rest of the attendees today, and hopefully they'll be able to take something out of this session with you.
Yes,
So
yes,
no further
hopefully.
ado, birthday boy, take it away.
Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Sir Sunny. Here, I think it's important for us to just really quickly review. So I mean, just to give some context on what we tackled last week. Okay, so I'll just show some, just give me like 3 minutes to do this. Uh, para lang ma-contextualize natin yung, your sharings for today. Actually, what's really going to happen today is you'll be sharing what you went through trying the process, and then hopefully we can give some feedback around that, and it helps shape, not really shape, but it helps move things forward for you. In the end, we want this to work, and it's just very important that that we take time not to look at the outcomes. I think a lot of the times when I do things like this, I keep telling people, okay, don't look at the outcome, but the product, the idea, because it's been a week, and honestly, we had things to do for the rest of the week. We did a webcast on last Wednesdays or Sunny and everything, and like I like to say, when you do these types of like activities, behavior is the outcome. It is not specific ideas and projects, because you need that practice, that time, to really get into this and trying out different things. So you're finding out and you're learning at the same time. So let me just show my screen now. Okay, here. So this is all familiar to you already. So let's just quickly. So um, before we did our session last Saturday, you filled up your own business model canvases. Okay. Similar to what Sir Sunny said, you have to see this canvas as a living document. Okay. So when we say a living document, it's constantly evolving. All right. And when you're evolving, you don't have to evolve it all at the same time. You can focus on certain factors and then see how that affects everything else on the canvas. I also introduced the idea of the experiment diamond, and this has been a guiding, this has been a guiding principle for a lot of the entrepreneurial and we call this and innovation work that I've been doing. It's a very simple framework. Every time you're experimenting, after you take note, you experiment after you've identified needs of your stakeholders, of your users, of your customers. So when you have a clear idea of things that they might need, not specific things na mga kailangan nila, but parang when you understand kung ano yung importante para sa mga customer nyo, then you can now ask a question based sa needs ng anong market ko, anong customer base I mean, based on what they consider important in their life, what type of questions now do you want to ask? So, for example, if I use this example of gift giving, okay, if the goal was to reimagine gift giving, okay, and you know that the person that will use this solution that you will come up with, yung customer nyo, has this how would I say, gives gifts because it's a way to express their creativity. So you might know some people na ganyan na parang bongga lagi yung mga gift na pinibigay nila, or parang sobrang creative, laging may personal touch, and there are some people, or I would say there's a good amount of people that put effort. So if your understanding of that need is that because it's a form of like expression, then you would ask a question: how might we make gift giving to be about self-expression rather than you know self I mean rather than about giving it to someone else. So it takes a little like selfish twist to gift giving, that it becomes a self-expression rather than a form of like of sharing and a gratitude. But we're just experimenting and trying to find out. So when you ask a question around that need, you can now think of a bunch of possible solutions. So let's say they call this, it's an application that focuses on you making on DIY gifts, or it's a program that you can only make gifts using your hands, or it's a application that lets you sign on any gift that you give. So these are some possible ideas and experiments that you can probably look into. And then from there, you will now test these by showing it to some people, showing it to that person that you know that gives gifts to express their creativity, and then you get feedback from there. And as you're getting feedback there, you will learn more about their needs. You will learn more about what other questions you can ask, and this cycle just goes on and on. So it's actually not that. If you think about it, it's a scientific method. You have a hypothesis. You build a bunch of experiments around that, so that you get to test these hypotheses, and then you get feedback around it and see what happens. So how does this apply to the business model canvas? So again, just to review what we said last time, is that you can run this experiment diamond over all of these areas in the business model canvas. And like I mentioned a while ago, if you do it, let's say it's a value proposition, you're running experiments around that, you can keep everything constant in the surrounding factors and see how those particular things, those changes in value propositions affect all these other factors. Because it will happen. For example, if the value proposition you're testing and it turns out that it doesn't make sense, it doesn't resonate to people na low-end ang gagawin mong product, na parang based on the needs that you've identified, it doesn't link to a low-end proposition. So if that's the case, that will affect your cost structure and then your revenue streams again. So maybe instead of low cost, you might have to look for ways to use more premium ingredients, premium materials, things like that. But again, it's as you're experimenting and testing that you're actually evolving this, and it's taking a life of its own. So I guess that's the thing I want to stress, and hopefully you're able to try this out. Again, we weren't particular about the outcomes, but what I want to hear from all of you really are, what are your stories around this? What are the struggles that you went through trying this? What didn't you understand? So it will be this back to back. We'll try to have a conversation around your joys and struggles doing this activity. So let me just try to see. Okay. Okay, so maybe we can start off with a quick, does anyone have questions about sa gagawin? Anything you want to clarify first, with the concepts? So Sonny, is there anything, that we need to clarify and maybe expound on?
Yes, people, baka meron kayong gustong i-clarify. Especially yung mga na-miss yung session last time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is your opportunity now to clarify. Cheryl?
Sir Sunny, wala naman. I'm okay.
All right. What about the rest? Sir Ton?
Yes. Good morning. Happy birthday.
Morning. Thank you, Ton.
Wala pa naman akong tanong. Iniisip ko ano nang i-venture kong negosyo. Yun yung nasa utak ko ngayon. Alam mo yan, Kuya Sunny, no? Meron na tayong pinag-uusapan, mag-offline tayo dun sa isang venture. Pero again, for those people lang na bago, kasi I invited one of my colleagues on this session. This is one way of looking into going out of our comfort zone. So, you take note of the things that you learn aside from, sabi ko nga kasi we'll be also conducting video conferencing sessions for our team. So, para na makita nila yung groove ni Jana. But then again, aside from that, this is also a learning for us that hindi habang buhay tayo empleyado. Yun lang. Yun muna. Mahirap mangamuhan. Kailangan tayo na maging amo.
Ready, baka meron kang gustong i-clarify. Ito, bagong entrepreneur. Ready? Hello.
Thanks, Sir Sunny.
Yep.
If I may add to what I just shared a while ago. Well, actually, as Ton mentioned it, like parang getting into this. I mean, getting into any new venture, new business is scary and risky. And that's a reality for a lot of people. And it's this risk that actually becomes a attrition point for a lot of people na parang, ay, nakakatakot naman, parang hindi ko kaya, like there's too much at stake. And the beauty of tools like the business model canvas is that it allows you to actually mitigate risk, because at a very basic fundamental level, wherein you don't have to invest much because you're just running a bunch of experiments. Remember last week we gave the example of using fake ads, as parang low fidelity prototypes of your ideas. So what it does really, it helps mitigate that risk, and it gives you that confidence moving forward na, okay, if something that I always ask myself, okay, what needs to be true in order for something to be successful? And that's something that every entrepreneur has to, parang craft their experiments on, kasi if you're asking yourself what needs to be true, for example, what needs to be true in order for people to download my app? Okay, let's say if the app is a gift-giving app, maybe it needs to be true that people need to give gifts. So if you know that people need to give gifts, you ask yourself, so sino dapat yung mga partners? Should I tie up with mga party organizers or mga let's say sa weddings, or meron bang current website na focuses on delivering gifts, or should I partner with Lazada para maraming inventory ko? So when you're asking these fundamental questions about your business, it actually gives you clearer ideas rather than going straight to the solution, trying to figure things out with the solution there without realizing what's happening in the back end. And that's why itong business model canvas is really something that has helped a lot of people. So ayun, parang if you're scared to get into a new business, it won't cost you much na ilatag mo yan as a business model canvas, create a bunch of fake ads, and then you'll get to see, you'll get more confidence on whether it's actually worth pursuing or not. And it won't cost much. Actually, your biggest cost might be time.
Correct ka dyan, Sir Migs, In fact, ang mas scarier for me is for you to lose your job without any backup.
Oo nga.
And
Oo.
especially for the last 2 months na assuming na
Mm.
walang pumasok na revenue, walang ayuda.
Mhm.
So
Oo.
that means 2 months worth of your operating or overhead costs na bawas sa savings mo. Eh, ang rule of thumb, di ba, at least you have 3 months savings para dun sa overhead costs. Eh. So that means yung reserves is depleted na. Now, likewise, just sharing what happened to me, unlike before, 10 years ago, when I plunged into entrepreneurship, wala akong business canvas na dinaanan. It's more on a gut feel, it's more on a passion, and I plunge. And I dive. And so that's the reason why for the next 2 years, it was really a struggle. But this is one thing that I learned. When you hit rock bottom, there's no way to go except up. All right. So what I'm saying is the business canvas will help you. It will mitigate the risk. Yes, that's true. Diba? Pero if we wanted to start something, and that's the entrepreneurial spirit. You will have to balance the risk and the potential losses with your willingness to pursue, with your willingness to survive. But the context, the situation right now is a lot different. We are venturing not to give up our full-time job. We are venturing on other sources of income precisely because we want to be prepared next time around if similar things like this would happen. Okay, people. So, may tanong ba? Kung walang tanong, mag-start tayo sa sharing.
Yes.
Going once. Just type me kung meron kayong question and we will recognize you. Or type your questions. Or you can unmute your mic and go ahead and seek clarification. Going twice. All right, servings, let's go to sharing. Can I call muna si Sheila siguro to share her experience?
Yeah, sige. Maybe if they can share the business model canvas para meron tayong basis, or if not, ang magkwento na lang, okay rin. So, sino nga yung una, Sir Sunny? Sunny? Sir Sunny?
Hello, yes.
Ayun,
Wait, I'm looking for her. Shidel pala, I'm sorry. I got mixed up. Shidel.
Yes, sir. Good morning po.
Share your business model canvas and then your experience going through the diamond report ni Sir Migs.
Sir, kahit hindi po masyadong detailed.
Okay lang.
Opo, medyo sabog-sabog na konti.
Okay lang.
So, opo, by the way, I'm Shidel. I'm a HR secretary in an academy. So, I have this business, which is a bike shop. So, medyo nakikita ko po yung key partners ko are my bike suppliers. And kung sino po yung aking customers are, nabanggit po sa akin ni Sir, hindi lang yung mga, yung mga health workers, kundi mas na po siya. Halos lahat kailangan na po ng bike as of now, since na medyo wala pong transportation na available. So, ayun po. Then, key activities. So, nakita ko po, it will give my customers vehicle from their house to their specific work. So, kasi nga po, since na this past few months, wala pong available na transportation, medyo patok po ang bike. Kasi nga, yung iba medyo malayo po yung mga places ng work nila. So, okay. Nakukuha po ba, sir? So, hello?
Yes. Go.
Yes. Go. Sige lang.
So, yung value propositions naman po is, I can see that we deliver the customers accessibility. So, yung transportation nga po nila. So, ayun po. Then, customer segments. Yung iba po, hindi ko masagot eh. Sa customer segments naman po is, presently, ayun nga po, yung mass market. Ayun po yung nakikita ko. Then, reserve streams, medyo naguguluhan pa po ako dun sa iba. Pero, I can see na, ano po ba yung nakalagay sa reserve streams? Key resources naman po yung value proposition, yung what value do we deliver to the customers, which one of the customers problems we solve. So ayun nga po, sinusolve ko po yung time din nila kasi instead of working of walking from their house to their work is nalilesen po yung time nila, then pati din po yung health po nila, siguro doon ko nakikita na mas healthy po yung nagbabike kaysa sa yung walking, kasi pag nagbabike po, di ba, marami pong nade-develop diyan na yung sa pag-move ng mga feet, ng mga arms and others.
Chidel.
Yes sir, for a while,
Yes.
sir. 150
Okay.
po. 1,450. 1,450. Sorry for that, sir. So,
Okay, no
as
problem.
I'm saying is, yung dun sa value, yung pag-exercise po. So, isa yun sa natutulong ng product na binibenta ko. So, ano pa ba? Which customers, what bundles of products and services. So, sa bike po kasi, di ba po, may mga different accessories dyan. Meron dyang light, then yung pag-handle po ng bottle, tapos bottle holder, then the mismong bottle of the water. So sometimes pag binibigyan namin sila ng package na pag binili mo tong product na to is kasama na, meron na siyang kasamang water bottle and yung mismong bottle niya. So ayun po. So sa ngayon, I can say that medyo patok na patok po yung product namin, since na sa ngayon is kailangan talaga ng individual or workers ng bike po as of now, since that we are having COVID pandemic. So yun lang po, sir. Thank you.
So Chidel, so just to parang clarify, so meron kayong bike shop.
Yes,
dahil sa pandemic na to, ang daming business is good kasi nga maraming kailangan siguro ng mga messenger service, ng mga food delivery, mga ganyan, di ba? So mga naghahanap ng bike to mga tao para makatrabaho. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, tama po.
Oo. So okay, sige. So going back to the process, let's not look at the specific ang mga business outcomes. Pero so linatag mo na sa business model canvas mo yung yung mga sinagot mo kanina. Sa tingin mo, paano mo gagamitin yung experiment diamond within the context of the business model canvas? Again, no right or wrong here. We want to give feedback and things like that. So maybe you can share what you did around that. Paano mo na-apply yung experiment diamond to the business model canvas?
Medyo hindi ko pa po masyado siya mag-gets. Pero kanina, yung nag-share po kayo, parang nakikita ko po na I would like to do some kind of survey pag bumili po sila ng product namin, na or I can go back dun sa mga bumibili sa amin. Then, kasi from time to time, bumabalik sila sa amin eh. So, naisip ko po na gagawa ako ng survey kasi parang satisfy sila sa product, which is from maya't maya bumabalik sila sa amin kasi bukod po dun sa product is meron kaming libre na pag nasira, sige, balik kayo kasi meron naman kaming mekaniko. So, ililibre na namin yun sa inyo. Then, pag meron kayong kulang o may mga questions regarding dun sa pag nasira ito o kailangan ba namin palitan ko, nandun naman po yung husband ko, which is my partner, nasa doon sa business namin, very accommodating siya na i-answer yung mga queries po ng mga customers namin. And siya po mismo merong report sa kanila, which is nagiging barkada
Okay.
na po niya halos lahat yung mga customers namin, na sometimes eto po meron siyang silang time to bond with each other every
Mhm.
Sunday, na lumalabas sila, nagbabike sila. So siguro
Mhm.
nakikita ko po dun yung camaraderie na po within my with my husband and with my customers. So siguro, is it okay po dun, sir? Parang ayun yung nakikita kong may ask a question, then nagkakaroon yung run an experiment. So this
Mhm.
time maggagawa ako ng survey na ano yung
Okay.
satisfy sa
Mhm.
inyo and my product. Parang ganun po.
Kasi Del, ganito, kailangan natin i-place kung ano yung role ng survey na to. Di ba meron tayong ask a question,
Yes, sir.
form an experiment, tapos yung feedback. Saan mo ilalagay yung parte ng pagsusurvey?
Doon sa mga dati naming customer na laging bumabalik. Siguro
Ano,
po,
Del, sa ano?
ayun po.
As a context ng experiment diamond, okay, yung pagkuha ng survey, ilalagay mo ba yan sa ask a question, sa build an experiment ba, or sa feedback?
Siguro po sa feedback din po. Sa
So
feedback po,
feedback
sir.
yan. Okay. So okay, given that, let's move backwards. Ano yung magiging experiment mo?
Siguro po kung experiment.
Sige.
Medyo doon pa po ako nag-iisip nga po, sir, kung paano po ako mag-experiment regarding that survey
Okay.
or other kinds of kung ano pang kailangan kong i-venture doon sa
Actually,
customer.
sinabi mo na kanina. So parang let's say kung meron kang, okay, ang experiment mo could be maybe meron kang specific promo or something that na gusto mo i-try, di ba? Ngayon,
Yes, sir.
moving back again, so yung kung let's say meron kang survey, yung promo mo, and then tawag dito, yung question mo is you probably be asking something like maybe how might I increase or ganito, what if the question is parang how might I build a better relationship with my customers during this pandemic? So
Okay, sir.
if you go to the next one, promo is one way of doing it. The other way, yung ginagawa ng husband mo, di ba? Na parang nagbe-build siya ng mga, I guess, chinichika niya yung mga customer, mga ganyan, or he really listens to them and tries to serve them.
Yeah.
Di ba? So parang, kung yung question nga is, how do I build better relationships? What are other things you can do versus a promo or just talking to them?
Okay, sir. So that will help po pala yung mga kind of such questions po pala sa kanila. So, tanong ko lang po, sir. May question lang po ako, sir. So, yung feedback ko, which is my survey, pwede ko pong ipasok din yung question. Is
Aling
it
question?
almost po? I mean, yung the feedback itself is the survey. Then yung question, ayun po yung laman po ng survey. Tama po ba? Am I right?
Hindi. Okay, so ganito, yung question kasi, this is a question that you're asking yourself. So for example, if you ask a question around, yung question sa yan, based dyan sa business model canvas mo. So maybe specific sa value proposition. For example nga, ganito, tawag dito, yung question mo is, how might I build better relationships with my customers during pandemic? Okay, so,
yes, sir.
So kung yan ang question mo, maybe you'll think, okay, from a value proposition kasi is usually like your marketing, na
Yes, sir.
what type of language should I be using, what type of ano ba dapat yung mga kulay na gamitin ko, na siguro kung pandemic, if you want to build better relationships, wag naman puro color black. So baka kailangan mas colorful. So ina-anchor mo yung questions dyan sa mga business model canvas. So, inuunti-unti mo kasi yun na parang you're trying to understand a different aspect. So, once you create yung prototype mo, i-test mo, yung feedback, pwede ka mag-survey or you can also use yung I like, I wish, what if. Yung last week. Oh, were you here last week? Yung
Yes, sir. Yes,
last
sir.
weekend. So yung, I don't know if you remember yung parang feedback mechanism. A very simple one is to ask them what they like about your experiment, what they wish could be improved, and then what what suggestions could they give. So that's something we're trying to I guess push. So to answer your question, yung ask a question are always questions you ask around your business or around your customers, your users. And then sinasagot mo yung mga question na yan with a bunch of possible experiments. So yan yung experiment part. So once sinagot mo, kukuha ka ng feedback. And yung natural progression is, kung may feedback, usually merong nasasagot na mga questions that you've asked already, pero meron din mga na dadagdag na mga questions. So, it becomes this cycle nga na you start off with a question, you show a bunch of experiments, you build a bunch of experiments, you get feedback from it. Pagkakuha mo na feedback, may mga question ulit. So kung may question ulit, kailangan mong mag-experiment ulit. So, if you notice, it might sound na parang, ano ba to? Parang ang daming paulit-ulit. Pero that's the point. That's why you need to find ways to, if you want to be able to expand your business more, you need to find ways to create very short cycles of experimentation. For example, kami, when we do experiments, minsan sa umaga, we'll ask questions, we'll build prototypes. So by early afternoon, we're showing it to people already, tapos may feedback ulit. So in one day, we can go through one cycle. We don't overthink things as a Ignite and everything. So it's really just about getting to do things really fast.
Miguel, may question ako. Si
Mhm,
Aileen to.
Aileen.
Gusto ko kasing i-reframe yung situation ni Shaidal. Yung case niya kasi, di ba, meron na siyang business, tapos the business canvas model was sort of, she used it to kind of like map and organize what her business is. Meaning nauna yung business bago yung model. Yung question ko, kasi kanina, one of the key things that caught my attention nung nag-share siya was, what other services can we offer to our current customer? Parang, so yung tanong na yon, that's under value proposition, di ba? Mga products. Would you, parang ngayon kasi, if she's looking at sort of expanding services, would you recommend redoing a different business model canvas or just using the experiment method dun sa value proposition para matest niya kung ano yung mga pwede pa nilang i-offer na, ang tawag dito, products. Kasi parang, yun yung mas, napunta lang kasi siya dun sa feedback Pero kanina, at the very beginning of her sharing, where she was coming from was, okay, this is the line of products that I'm offering now. Given the current market demand, dalawa kasing pinanggagalingan ng potential na pwede niyang itap. Number one, there's an increasing variety in the customer na ina-attendan na nila. Before, sabi niya, she was focusing on health workers lang. Ngayon, mass na siya. So there's that opportunity to define who the mass is, who specifically these are that they want to service. And then from after identifying who these people are and what their needs are, bakit kailangan nila ng bike services, creating a product around that. Would it make more sense to use the experiment method around that? Kasi yun yung ask niya what other services can I offer to this new market segment? Let's say na definitional na ang new market segment niya apart from health services are I don't know, like, are my kuyas, for example, di ba? Kunyari, kami, because right now we have a program called Ignite Compassionate Offboarding. Be the boss, nagde-deploy kami ng mga tao to do errands and stuff. And one of the major challenges that they have is they don't have means of transport. Say, for example, kunyari, Keng, I asked Karen to work with Chanel and say, huy, is there a way for us to work together to service itong mga nag-errand services? And then they develop products around that. Tama, yun yung question, di ba? And then, yung experiment will be her listing down what type of products and services she can offer and then testing it in small bits and pieces. And then while testing, getting feedback. And the feedback comes in the form of meron bang kumakagat dun sa service na in-offer ko.
Okay.
Tama ba? Is that a way to kind of like reframe the experiment method in the context of using it under expanding product portfolios?
Well, yan, it's not a reframe in the sense that it's actually how you should apply it.
Okay. So ganun sa dapat talaga. Okay.
So kasi yung business model canvas aren't for specific maybe expansions of the business unless it's really sobrang layo na from the
Original idea.
business. So for example ngayon, so if it's within the context of bike shop, and you're starting off trying to look for new services, that you can probably focus on, then you can start off with a value proposition. At tama ka, Eileen, yung sinabi mo na parang
customer segments na, diba? Who will, na-mention niya na kasi kanina na parang meron siyang bagong
definitely pwedeng a customer segment, but now you need to find stuff that that you can maybe prototype again. So pwede rin nga yung list of services, tapos you can use surveys actually for the feedback mechanism there. Maybe have them rank what they feel is in terms of ano yung important for them. So kung may 5 listings ka dyan ng new services, people that go, well, not among go in the store, but people that you interact with, you have them, can you maybe
ano pa bang
rank
kailangan mo?
Or parang what you feel is the most important things that you need here. And then from the data you get there, you might be asking yourself, it seems na parang yung service ng let's say yung pag-service ng bike mismo. So let's say bike repair. It turns out this is a service na aside from nagbibenta lang, pero something I can also offer. So parang kung yung bike repair is what people find most important, aside from just buying bikes. So how do you build the whole business around that? So
a new product.
Additional, new product, maybe biglang meron kang instant bike repair kahit saan ka sa Pilipinas, pupunahan kita or something like that, diba? So it keeps these loops of constant learning moving, and it's pushing certain ideas forward. Of course, there's some features that don't test well, so you shouldn't focus on that. You should focus on things and test well, that test well, and see where it takes you. So it will definitely go back to your business model canvas. Yung only mistake that a lot of people do is that they look at their business model canvas and try to create an experiment na lahat yan sasagutin at the same time. Focus on one or two, maybe at most 3 aspects at a time, and then use that data, and then always spend time to reflect and see paano ba mag-change yung business model canvas ko based on the data that I gathered sa feedback.
So, pero bago siya humingi ng feedback, may listing na siya ng services. Tama ba? Kasi dun yung current na gap ni Shidel. Parang she doesn't know what to put in the questions yet. So, if the question is what other services they can offer,
questions in
the survey itself?
Okay, no. Sorry. The survey is actually, yung listing of services is actually the prototype is probably a poster, let's say. Meaning, you'll make a poster nga with your listings of services.
Na bago. The things I feel like they would need. Okay.
Yeah, so tapos yan ang prototype mo instead of a survey. Why? Kasi there's a certain, medyo ako, using surveys as a prototype is not advisable. It's easy though, but it's not advisable because there's this natural tendency to just glaze through surveys, and rather, parang we want to make the medium, yung pinaka prototype format mo, something it's close to what the business might actually use, and that's why fake ads or a business poster actually helps you, because this is actual material that you might use in the future, and it just puts them in a state of really understanding yung context na since mukhang legitimate na poster to, the way they give feedback against that is actually more authentic and useful rather than a survey.
Sige, kunyari imagine natin nandun siya sa situation na So si Shidel, ang question niya is, okay, what else can I offer? Tapos her and her husband, they put their heads together and they decide, uy, ito baka pwede natin tong gawin. So they list it down, they create like a poster or kahit like a product listing lang. Kasi yung husband niya kasi di ba mahilig namang makipag-usap. So maybe yung part na, so may ask na, di ba yun yung question. Yung E is the experiment. Yung husband niya yung mag-experiment by asking yung mga nagpupunta sa shop, uy, mag-offer kami ng mga ganito, ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Interested ka ba? Ganyan, ganyan. Kung so, yung sagot nila doon is the F, the feedback. Tama? And then they decide, that's how the experiment diamond works for this.
Yeah, so based on what they're on what they're picking, okay, that's a surface level. You need to be able to go deeper into the feedback and ask them, okay, bakit ka na pinili mo?
Yun nga. Pero yung part ng experiment, there's a roster of other questions na yung husband, binigyan talaga natin dahil yung ng trabaho yung asawa mo, di ba? Yung roster of question na kailangan itanong nung asawa mo sa mga pumupunta sa shop nyo tungkol dito sa mga bagong product na gusto nyong i-launch. That's maybe the ones that get the most feedback or is within the scope of what they can deliver, no, Miguel? Because they also have to make considerations from ano ba yung kaya nyong i-deliver resource-wise, and then ano yung demand na nakikita nyo coming from that like casual interviews that your husband is doing is the nature of the feedback that would allow you to build new services and product. Therefore, the experiment diamond was used dun sa aspect ng business canvas model na value proposition. So may sagot ka na agad. Kasi sabi ni Miguel, ano siya, evolving document. Kasi iba yung una mong sinulat doon. At some point, after you do the experiment diamond, there's going to be another set of products and services that are, either enriching your value proposition or adds to your value proposition. I think parang that's like a good picture of how to imagine, how to use because what I wanted to do was to get the experiment diamond into real things that you can imagine executing as opposed to like concepts that are running through their head right now. So I wanted to use yung example ni Shidel. Hopefully it helped in some way. Kasi medyo concerned ko kanina, her sharing might end as wala tayong kind of like clear na picture at least for her to use as a way, parang starting point on how to use the experiment diamond talaga in real life. Yun lang. Sorry, naki-jump in ako. Pasensya na.
Thank you for that, Ma'am Aileen. Tama po ba,
Yes,
Miss Aileen? So parang nakuha ko na po yung experiment method na iba yung experiment mo pero nasasagot siya ng ibang answer sa feedback. So parang natutugma-tugma ko siya na pag eto lang sir, in real life, yung talaga i-share ko lang po. So, syempre po, magmamarket ako through FB. Then, sasabihin ko sa kanila na, syempre, madami po silang feedback na ang daming sa akin, is this available? So, ilalagay ko sold na kasi nabili na. But you have to go at once sa aming shop since na every time na meron siyang delivery sa amin, will run for only 2 to 3 days, then wala na siya eh. Then, so ang kumbaga yung mas talaga customer is eto na siya agad, hindi ko na kailangan mag-market sa FB para mabili yung product namin. So, then parang yung experiment ko doon pumapasok na siya na I don't need to market my product. Kasi eto na yung customer. Papasok na. Then from there, pag nabenta na yung product namin na siguro ayun na yung pumapasok din yung feedback na paano to wala akong kasama to deliver, to transport my bike since na meron akong motor. Kasi nangyari po sa amin yun eh. So sinabi nung paano ko madadala to doon sa bahay namin. Since na medyo masipag yung aming mekaniko, so yung husband ko na, pare, ihatid mo naman siya. So kayang-kaya niyang ihatid na nakabike siya, then hawak-hawak niya yung bike niya, going from sa place namin, going to dun sa bahay nung customer. So doon ko nakita siguro yung feedback, sir, na pumapasok na, okay, kaya namin ibigay yung service na to sa iyo. Kasi, we have this special, parang, meron yung parang ma-answer na namin kasi willing kami natulungan ka na i-deliver to through our mechanic. So, yung mekaniko nga namin. So, parang naging clear na po sa akin yung experiment method, sir. So, ayun po yung nakikita ko.
Sige, thank you for that. Okay.
Thank you po.
Sige, thank you. So siguro let's move on to the next one.
Yeah,
Sunny,
meron tayo, Sir Sonny, na nag-volunteer. Are you going to call somebody or should I call the one sa chat box po?
Si Armela, yun nasa
yes,
chat. And after her, si Melissa.
Yes.
Okay, sige.
Armela?
Si Armel, pwedeng i-share.
Sir, actually, I don't think if it is a sharing, it's just only inquiry. Because my husband is planning to put up a business, no? Kaming dalawa. Though, pinag-aaralan ko kung paano i-apply yung business, the one you have discussed last time. Kasi he was engaged in construction. So, nangungontrata doon kasi nasa field siya ng engineering. So, yun lang. Pinatatanong niya na rin kasi he's planning to, mag-for good na siya, no? Pag-uwi niya next year. So, we are thinking kung if we push through this business, pinatatanong niya, no, kasi I don't have idea yet, no, since sa HR naman ako, hindi pa ako ganun kaano siya pagdating sa business. If you put up a business, okay lang ba na kahit ang registry is allocated muna sa residential, ganun, kasi hindi, startup ka pa lang naman eh. I mean, yung mga legalities ng registration, something like that.
Kay Sir Sonny yata yung tanong na yan. Sir Sonny, help.
Sir Sonny!
Actually, masasagot ko rin yun.
Okay lang. Anyone can answer. It's a big help for me.
Well, in my experience, ako kasi I've set up a lot of home businesses, okay? Kung pwede namang gamitin yung, at least in my experience, I've used a bunch of homes as parang yung registered address ng business. As long as pwede sa kung saan ka nakatira. So, there are some places kasi na kung residential, hindi ka pwede magano ng mga residential.
Okay.
Pero, so I guess you check on that. Sir San, would you have a different answer on that? But ako, that's what I've been...
In addition, doon sa sinabi ni Sir Migs, una, ano ba yung address na gusto mong i-set up? Is it a virtual address or the real office address? Kasi if it is a real office address, second question would be, after yung question ni Sir Migs, na allowed ba sa community ninyo? The second would be, family-owned ba to or nirerentahan? Kasi kung nirerentahan, there should be a leasing agreement. And then you will be the one to pay the taxes doon sa government. Okay? Now, the third consideration would be if whether i-address mo yan sa bahay or elsewhere, kukuha ka ng mayor's permit.
Yes.
Yun yung Tapos, ang susunod na consideration, ito yung biggie. If that is your permanent residential address and you make it an office address, then you are announcing to the whole world where you are living.
Okay.
So, sa akin kasi, I'm trying to shield my privacy. Diba? Both virtual at saka doon sa real. So, yung mga wala sa inner circle ko, hindi nila dapat alam kung saan ako nakatira. Diba? But once you use your residence as an office, then everyone will know.
Okay,
Everybody.
I get your point, Sir Sunny. So, mawawala ng privacy, ika nga. Parang ganun. Okay.
I had a case before wherein pag ginawa namin sa parang residential, nagpunta yung mga nag-fire inspection, mga ganyan sa bahay.
Oo nga, I agree.
Parang medyo nabulabog yung pamilya ko niyan. So,
yeah. Anyway, I appreciate. I think that is the thing that we have to to think it over kung saan pwedeng So meaning we have to decide to get a location talaga. Anyway, actually the business just like a partnership. family na rin kasi silang magkakapatid eh. So, yon, mechanical engineer then engineer. So, yes. Anyway, thank you Sir Sunny and Sir Mix for the insight. Medyo gumagawa pa lang naman din kami ng case study for this business soon. Anyway, thank you. Thank you to both of you.
Ilatag mo sa business model canvas muna. Tapos, tingnan mo kung and then, i-experiment diamond mo pagkatapos.
Ayun nga eh. Actually, kaka-online din ng husband ko, no. Sabi ko nga eh, Dad, I'm here with the web podcast with Sir Sunny and Sir Mix. Sabi niya, Mami, try to ask kung ano yung possible. Kasi nga, we're looking forward nga to put up early next year kasi magpo-for good na rin kasi siya for over 12 years on Middle East. So, medyo, especially this kind of pandemic na hindi kami magkasama. So, yun yung ini-aim talaga namin. Thank you, Sir Mix. Thank you, Sir Sunny.
A suggestion is yung mga virtual address, meron sa Makati, Quezon City. If nasa PR ka, ha, so you will rent the address, pwede kang kumuha ng mailbox, pwede kang kumuha ng extension ng telepono, wala physically doon, pwede kang magkaroon ng extension ng phone where you can pick it up. But you can make use of the facilities pagka kailangan ng meeting. Okay, so that is another.
That is one factor. Okay. Noted, Sir Sunny. Thank you.
Yeah, virtual addresses are definitely good. Okay, thank you, Arnel. So next,
Thank you.
Hello, good morning po.
Good morning.
Oo. Actually po, share ko ba muna dapat no yung business model canvas. Oo, yung business kasi na inaay ko sana is mushroom cultivation. Kaya nga very interesting sa akin kasi nabanggit ni Sir Sunny na merong guest speaker na yun yung niya, yun yung current business niya. So, hindi ko sineshare ko kasi medyo clueless pa rin talaga ako sa ngayon. So, para lang to get your feedback kung ano yung pwede kong i-improve siguro dun sa business model canvas. So, tiningnan ko siya, key partners. I'm seeing, syempre,
did you fill it in?
Yes. Yes, I filled out the business model canvas.
Could you share it?
I don't know how I can share it, but I emailed it. Kaya lang hindi ko alam kung paano ko i-share from my phone.
Teka. It's from your phone. Teka lang. But you emailed it to Sir Sunny?
Yes. Hindi ko lang sure kung.
Yeah. Kasi that would help us facilitate this. Teka lang. Sir Sunny?
Yes. Wait lang. I'm looking for it.
Sige. If you can send it to me, I can share it in my screen also.
What is your email address, Melissa?
mbagasbas474@gmail.com. I think I emailed it Wednesday or Tuesday.
Hi, Lisa. Ton here.
Hi, Ton. Long time.
Yeah. Nice to see you in our community.
You also. It's nice to hear your voice.
So, just a background, Sir Mix. Lisa and I used to be colleagues in Red Ribbon.
Yes.
Okay.
We go way back.
Way back. 2000 na.
Yeah.
2000 to 2000.
Sir Mix, what is your email address?
Miguel@ignitehouse.vc.
Wait, hindi naman malabas eh. Miguel
@ignitehouse.
.vc. Victory C.
Yes, Victory C.
Okay, send. Nagma-manufacture na kayo ng mushroom chips o magsusupply kayo ng raw mushroom, Melissa?
Wala pa, sir. As in, wala pa talaga. It's
So
parang
it's
right now
conceptual.
it's all in my head at the moment.
I'm just curious.
Parang it's something that I've been wanting to do since last year na I don't know how to start, pero good thing that I was able to get into this group nga, and just to be able to put into context everything that's in my head.
I guess I'm gonna ask you, Melissa, yung act of just writing it down into the business model canvas, how did that feel? Na you mentioned that you had it in your head, di ba? So parang
Kasi actually when I wasn't able to join kasi the first 2 sessions. No, that last week was the first time that I joined. So that was the only time that I was able to do the business model canvas. And right then when I was doing it, doon ko ginamit yung experiment diamond. So basically, pero on my end kasi parang it was all questions. So when I was doing the business model using the questions, doon ko nakita na kasi basically when I was thinking about it, parang iniisip ko lang, syempre I need to have a space for it, and then how to grow the mushrooms. Pero hindi lumalabas sa isip ko, like for example, ano yung magiging customer segments ko. What are the other resources na kakailanganin ko? Because basically, I was thinking, syempre, pag sinabing resources and you're going to put up a business, syempre, yung finances lang palagi yung pumapasok. Pero, while doing it,
yung pricing, ganyan.
doon ko nakita, ang dami palang kakailanganin. So, actually, parang medyo, it was good kasi nakikita ko kung ano-ano yung aspects na kailangan kong tingnan, and at the same time kasi when you're very enthusiastic about the business, very excited ka, so long as you have the finances, you'd think na okay, I can just go into it so long as I attend probably the right trainings, ganyan. Pero dito nakita ko na may resources, hindi lang pera yung kakailanganin ko. Of course, I need to think about people, what are the equipments that I would have to have. And
distribution.
Medyo nalula ako, pero
Well, okay. So that's so you mentioned pagkalatag mo nito, parang you had a lot of questions. So maybe you can share some of the questions that you had, let's say around value proposition or what are the types of questions you were asking after mo sinulat dito sa business model canvas?
Yeah. Because since there were a lot of questions in my head when I was doing it using the experiment diamond. Ang initial question that came into mind was how feasible is it, or how feasible is it to enter into the mushroom business? So that's when I started researching what's yung mushroom production in the Philippines, or the where can you sell your mushrooms, yung mga ganon. So ang unang pumasok sa isip ko is, say for example, for value proposition, I noticed kasi na back in 2018, I was seeing a lot of mga YouTube videos na parang they were inviting people to attend seminars on mushroom growing in the Philippines, ganyan. Tapos nung doing the business model, pansin ko when I tried to search for videos sa sa net, parang sabi ko napansin, parang ang konti na lang nagko-conduct ng seminar. So parang naisip ko baka mamaya saturated na. Pero sa palagay ko naman hindi. So parang naisip ko sa value proposition, what would be, how will I stand out kung halimbawa nga na maraming ibang mushroom growers sa yun yung mga questions that are in my head right now. So paano ko gagawin? Pero alongside doing that, naisip ko rin yung customer segments. Say, for example, customer segments ko, of
Mhm.
course, would be local markets, local supermarkets, yung mga other mushroom producers, and then, of course, isip ko, syempre, family, office mates, ito yung magiging unang mga
Mhm.
go-to people ko. But at the same time, dun din nabuo yung, yung sa customer relationships, actually, medyo parang pumasok yung HR perspective ko sa customer relationships kasi naisip ko thinking about the customer segments, of course you have to establish a lot of network with a lot of other producers kasi you'd be getting pointers from there, sharing with their
Mhm.
own experiences. And then naisip ko, community touch points, I have to be very visible in the community and for them to
Okay.
know that, there's a mushroom lady living in our street, parang ganon.
Okay.
And then, collaborations with other producers and customers. And then I thought na maybe I could create customer relationships by, of course, common naman, joining mushroom trade fair siguro. But at the same time, I thought about partnering with other
Mhm.
companies, maybe join their employee engagement programs for when they need to, because I know, I don't know with the other companies, but in our company kasi, once or twice a year we invite a lot of mga suppliers, people with different products, and then we
Mhm.
make it available for our employees. And then some of our employees would find, they would just, buying products, but other employees would find a lot of business opportunities from those events. So naisip ko, pwede ko rin gawin yon. So naisip ko, going back to value proposition, then maybe that this is something na would probably set me apart
Mhm.
from the other producers because um parang of course it would not just be about growing mushrooms and selling it
Mhm.
to the community, but at the same time, have the parang ideal na I am an employee, but I was able to go into it.
Mhm.
The market is very ripe for a lot of small enterprises to bloom. So this
Mhm.
is maybe something that others can do by mushroom production. So parang I don't know, medyo magulo ba, sir? Pero parang
Oh,
yun yung mga naiisip ko lang.
sige. So,
Medyo ano siya.
let me get, okay. So, actually, you've shared a lot of like points. Actually, I think the first point that I want to focus on is when you said after you filled in the business model for Canvas, it became clear that this was a very daunting task. Diba? Na parang ang dami pala kailangan gawin. So,
Mm-mm.
parang,
Yes.
but based on what you're sharing, there are actually ways. For example, I can already imagine creating maybe one type of maybe poster or fake ad that will be able to capture maybe things like your value proposition, customer
Mm-hmm.
relationships, and customer segments. For example, okay, let's focus first. Okay, produce locally grown mushrooms. So maybe your value proposition is that this is off my head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, proudly locally grown mushrooms. So that might be a headline in your fake ad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now knowing that you want to network with other producers, so maybe in your print ad you would put a poster where a location you go to a local market. So maybe I'll be doing a pop up in the local market, um, selling what they
Mm-hmm.
order. So it actually tackles things like community touch points and things like that already, as well as looking at one possible a local market. Now, if you look at your revenue streams, being in a market is a direct selling a revenue model, right? Basically,
Mm-hmm.
it's transactions. They go to you, you have a stall, they buy things from
Mm-hmm.
you. Okay, so that also tackles this part. And then yung cost, you might want to put in the poster the first 50 people that buy get 50 pesos off or something like that. And
Okay.
so you see how, let's say, your fake ad can capture different activities already in
Mm-hmm.
your, just just through one piece of material. Now,
Okay.
kasi you had all these questions, diba, that you were asking na parang, okay, should I say it's locally grown? Should I do this in a local market? And things like that. So by creating that ad, okay, you can actually share that and see how people respond to it. Do
Okay.
people inquire? You may need a call to action. Na parang, if you're interested, send us your email or your phone number or text us in this number. Parang meron kang call to action sa baba. If you want to pre-order or something, see how people respond to this type of like advertising or
Okay.
yung fake ad. So that answers some of your questions. For example, if it turns out that people don't want to buy their mushrooms in the local market, you might want to create a different version na it's sold in, let's just say, even if it's not true, it's being sold in, let's say, SM hypermarket. Okay.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you create a fake ad, see how people respond to that. If it's clear na when you change the selling location, okay, more people. So maybe it makes sense for you just to pursue the supermarkets instead of pursuing the local market
Okay. Okay.
without having to do the actual, selling in the market. Of course,
Yes.
that helps, but it will take up a lot of time. I've done a lot of business at bazaar level, and grabe ang hirap mag-set up ng mga yung stall
Oo.
pala, yung pag-deliver dyan.
That's probably the
Tayo ka the
rental.
whole day, ganyan.
Oo,
And then,
rentals
and then
expensive din.
exactly. So there are all these factors, and parang but at least you're making decisions based on data that you're gathering by sharing this, itong mga fake ads without even have to spend anything. So parang I love that you are, that you've answered this. You're sharing it here with us. You've identified very clear um, areas that you want to focus on. Maybe being able to prioritize and then creating different permutations of these and see what works. So usually when I release fake ads, I will release 6 versions of that at the same time, using different permutations, different combinations from value proposition to customer relationship, customer segments. So in one go, pwede mo ilabas.
Oo.
Using Facebook, you can actually see asa ba nagkiklik yung mga tao. Yung mga things like
Yes.
that. So you actually have access to those types of tools already, just through Facebook pa lang. Of course, so there, parang it's something that you can, of course, also survey if you want to just email it, show to friends, show them all 6 or three designs, have them pick what they like the most, and then from there, ask them, so bakit? Why do you like this the most? What drew you to this? How do you think this can be improved and things like that?
Okay. So the really the key is getting your potential customer feedback talaga.
It's kasi again that helps with the risk factor na parang siyempre this is completely new to you. You don't really know what to focus on, but by seeing how the market is already reacting to some propositions or some combinations of certain factors, it gives you data on ano ba dapat yung next steps mo kesa yung parang may mga iba businesses na puro we have to make it cheap. Okay, we have to make it cheap, but but in the end, you won't be able to sustain it as a business. So, maraming factors yan na they think dahil mass market yan, dapat mura. Yes, most of the time, but like, if you really want to differentiate and be able to make your business sustainable, you have to find ways to go beyond just focusing on pricing. And a lot of businesses, anong nangyayari yan na focus lang sila sa pricing all the time. And hindi sila, they don't get sustained because there's no value for the customer that's being built.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Thank you.
anyone want to chime in on that? Eileen, Sir Sunny, anyone want to give some feedback on what si Amelissa shared?
Hello.
Hello, who's there? Sorry,
Ton.
I'll stop sharing. Ton, hi Ton, yeah.
I was just listening. Eh. I'm doing multitasking. Eh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pero this is really an insight, no? Not only for me, but for everyone. Na, setting up a business
Mm-hmm.
is not a big joke. You have to know everything in terms of what are the things that you can do, what can be the repercussions of your action. It
Mm-hmm.
has to be well planned. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
basically, you have to look into are you ready for the business? That's the first thing. Eh? Even you have the urge, you have the financials, but are you ready for the business? It's the go attitude of the guard, the go attitude. Regardless of if ever you'll be juggling with your corporate life and your business, you have to know how to strike the balance between the two. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
at the
Correct.
same time, if ever you'll be having a partner, either your sibling or your significant other, it's very basic that you have to also sit down and how can you go with the groove, specifically on if ever there will be challenges, how who will take over this for the meantime, who will be taking over this in the meantime. At
Mm-hmm.
the same time, as well as you have to look into what are the strengths of both person if you'll be combining forces. So if you're strategically on this perspective, so you'll be handling this. If he's more on the people person or negotiation, he'll be doing this. So it's a whole spectrum, not only on how will you execute the business, but looking on the groundworks or the blueprint as well before jumping in. You have to be ready. You have to
Yeah.
be equipped psychologically, emotionally,
And
financially,
physically,
and physically.
financially.
I mean, let's face the fact. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a joke. It's really not a joke. That's why we have. For me, I'm having business in mind already since the start of the first quarter. But I am still analyzing of how can I go about it with the, of course, the demand of my job, with my commitment with HR mentoring. So I have to always look into the balance. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I have to take it slowly. Tama ba Kuya Sunny? No? Alam mo yan. But, but right now, of course, with the pandemic, it's a realization for everyone that we don't have to place our laurels in what we have now, but we have to look into options or alternatives so we can earn, we can grow, and have the passion to what we'll be doing.
Yeah. I just have to caution on like on like some things kasi uh in the sorry, wait. Hold your mute lang. Melissa, okay. Yeah, so uh, something lang kasi we have this saying in the startup space. Don't get ready, get started. And why is that important? Okay, I do understand the need of understanding if you're ready or not. But the reality is that a lot of times we tend to pontificate and overthink a lot of the things even before we're bringing out little experiments. I do agree with starting slowly and starting small. Yeah, definitely. So para you're trying to look for now what are the smallest or what's been called a minimum viable version of your business that you can bring out to the market and test. So parang this whole idea of just being able to parang you're ready as you're from showing things to people, from showing prototypes, from running experiments. It has to be the basis of whether you're ready or not. But it's always worked up on this idea na okay, kailangan ko munang I have to show simple versions of what my business could be. So as you're doing this, do not try to overplan also. It's good to try things out first, and then based on the data you're gathering, that's when you create a plan. So what I'm saying here around fake ads, things like that, okay, these are your ways of just sharing your what your business could be like, all right, and then getting feedback from there, and then you see this certain readiness, this certain confidence, what we call creative confidence, you know, to pursue this business or not. And so I'm raising that because we have to be cautious of that. Again, I'm telling you, a lot of businesses tend to, and you know, the science shows this, tend to first plan before we actually execute. And very successful and entrepreneurs, innovators are those that actually flip it around. They first do, and then they they plan after that. We have the saying sa Ignite, ready, fire, aim. Okay, so basically it's just start it off, fire ka muna, and then based on how you're hitting things, you adjust and aim from that. So thank you, Melissa. Probably Eileen, Sir Sunny, is there anything else you want to add? Maybe we can do one more person
Okay,
after this.
who would like to share? Or who wants
Melissa,
to ask a
thank
question?
you. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Sir Mings. Thank you, Ton.
Thank you.
All right, so from our participants who would like to share yung process niyo sa diamond experiment natin or sa inyong business canvas, or if you have any questions or clarifications you want to ask.
Yes, pwede rin, pwede rin.
Robbie, do you have anything to ask or clarify? Who wants to share? Who wants to ask a question? Miss Letty.
Letty. How about you, Sir Sunny? Do you have any like questions, things maybe you want to expound on that we can talk about?
Sa akin, ang gusto ko lang idagdag sa conversation. Tools that we are going through, yes, this will definitely help us, prepare us, and give us some idea on how the product or services that we're seriously thinking is. Nakakapaghanda tayo eh. While there is caution at one end, at one hand, at the other hand, dapat din maging conscious tayo na parang too much planning paralyzes us. So consideration of a lot of factors and information will prevent us from actually doing something. Kaya maganda din yung ginagawa nyo sa Ignite, yung reverse, yung ano yan, ready?
Ready, fire, aim.
Aim, all right. We need to start something somewhere at one certain point after considering all the parameters, ano. And then we adjust along the way. And that's the key, we adjust along the way. But the more we try to magnify yung nakikita nating possible limitations, possible problems, o possible conflicts na makikita natin na along the road, ano. If lahat yun i-magnify natin, chances are tayo ititiklop and we will try to wait for the right time. But the right time is a big question, it's a big variable. Parang today could be the right time, tomorrow could be the right time, yesterday could be the right time. Pero the thing about entrepreneurship, it's about being aggressive when you look at the opportunity.
Yes.
All the time that we thought na, yes, I am ready, baka nakaalis na yung bus. Diba? And tayong sayang yung opportunity.
Sir Sunny, to that point kasi, I remember I watched the TED Talk around the formula of successful businesses, and it turns out 80% of these businesses became successful because the timing was right. And a lot of people are saying, so is timing a factor of luck? when the reality actually it's not. It's that because you're showing very early prototypes of these businesses, it actually gives you an idea if the timing is right or not, so that you actually know whether you should release things. It's so a lot of people think na ay sinuwerte lang to ganyan. But if you're not anchoring on parang actual data dahil you show some business models, some business ideas, and you're getting feedback, that gives you that the confidence to say, okay, tama ba timing nito o hindi? Okay, so parang that's a very interesting point around time also that that you said na parang ganito if the timing is right, the worst thing you can do is not act on it. May saying as a hockey player si Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and that's something you really need to look into. That once you have data telling you na parang, huy, eto na yung timing, go out and do it. And sayang the opportunity. Sometimes kung tama lang yung timing mo, 80% of the time it will be successful. So,
Alright.
Sir Sally,
Yes.
Letty? Yes, Letty, would you want to share?
Actually, I don't know if it could be considered as an experiment for the diamond model. In a nutshell, what I would like to put up someday is a daycare center wherein working parents who do not have, let's say, help in the house or relatives to take care of their young children may leave their children for the whole day. I have this experience when I was a young parent, so I have something as a model, and we were satisfied with the services given. But there will be no formal education, but there will be activities for the children from the time they go there until they are picked up by their parents. We have a small property in a village, and it's being rented today. I am actually thinking about this daycare. Perhaps when I retire in a few years' time, it would also be of a service thing for me. I would be there. I would be hands-on. I think I'm still strong enough to do that. So thinking about the fake thing that was discussed last time. Last Wednesday, I belong to to a certain group in that subdivision. So what I did last Wednesday was to pose a question as to who are interested to avail of such a service when it's in a few months or in a few months' time. That's what I put there. So in about 2 hours, I already got 4 responses. So I was thinking, since it's not the for-profit immediately in the beginning, but more of a service to young parents, at least I know that there are interested people in the idea. So I think that's what I would like to share with the group.
So maybe two things, Letty. Thank you for sharing. Maybe two things about your experience. It was a very simple experiment that you did, but it actually gave you some very, I guess, insightful data on how to maybe proceed next. One thing I want to point out, okay, when we're asking these types of questions, when we have experiments, even before we show the experiments, we kind of have to set KPIs for that experiment, or parang, what is your level of success? For example, in your case, you got 4 responses. If let's say your KPI before you sent that out, you sent, when I post this question, if I get 3 yes responses in one day, then this gives me confidence to move on to the next step. Okay, which probably maybe you'll share it with more people or things like that. So it's important as you're doing this. Yes, you're experimenting, but don't experiment in a vacuum. If you get 2 responses, but in the back of your head na dapat 10 responses ang makuha ko, then you need to run the experiment again and see, so dapat meron tayong criteria of, I guess, a measures of success in that sense. So it's good that you just went out there and tried it. So it's a very important factor. I guess now the next question is, what would you do next? Aleti, what's the next thing I'd want to find out?
Thank you so much, Sir Migs, for what you have said a while ago. Probably I'll go back to the business model canvas that I have
Okay.
and look at the other areas there that would perhaps complement the experiment that I did.
Okay. Good.
Actually, I did something like that. So costing versus the revenue, like 4 would give me more or less how much in revenue vis-a-vis the cost that it would entail. So I'm actually still trying to figure out, I mean, the different areas of the business model canvas.
So maybe I'm thinking, if you go back to those 4 respondents, then you show them a follow-up ad wherein you pay, let's just say, in this your pricing is you're charging 15,000 pesos a month, let's just say, for at the use of facilities, and then see now how they would react to that. Now maybe your metric here would be different. That this fake ad allows you, it acts as an icebreaker to have an actual conversation with them. Maybe over the phone you can show them the ad and see, what do you think of this? If I'm charging 15,000 pesos, what type of would you still want to do? Would you still want to avail of my service, of my product, and things like that? And then if they say yes, then we ask them why. If no, you ask them why also. Then you also ask them, so how could I make this better? So you see, just these simple activities opens up this almost this domino effect of different data points that that will help inform you and see, okay, at what point, at what level of confidence can I actually push this idea forward.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for sharing. Sir Sunny,
video yata i-share si Miss Eileen.
Yes. Are we done na, sir? Yeah, because I think we're almost time's up. So Miguel, do you have any parting words before we formally close the session?
Yeah. Well, again, it's a ready, fire, aim. With a lot of the things you're doing here, ask questions. Just keep asking questions, knowing that you can answer these questions through experiments, and then that as you're getting feedback, let it inspire you just to try things out. Ganito, you don't know the value of your idea until it's out, unless you share it to people. No matter, I mean, I've been part of business ideas or businesses that have failed because in my head, okay to. Okay, and parang in my head, it will work out. I've lost a lot of money that way also, and it was only because I didn't have the humility to at least start off initially by showing very simple versions. I would always try to go for a home run before, and it was very expensive. Never go for the home run. I think for me, just start it small, start it with humility because you want to learn from these experiments and then see where it takes you. And as you're learning, you'll create this deeper connection with yung customer nyo, yung mga users nyo, and you'll be able to create businesses that address their needs. So in the end, it boils down to ano ba kailangan, ano ba yung importante sa mga customer ko. Hindi kung ano ba features na product ko, ng service. It's never about that. It always goes back, ano ba kailangan ng customer ko? Ano ba yung mga ano ba yung things that are important in their life, and how can my products and services address this?
Is that it?
Yep.
Very well said, Sir Migs.
Okay, so before ko i-hand off kay Sir Sonny yung floor to kind of like formally close this, we just wanted to share that this partnership that we have with Sir Sonny is really part of our core in Ignite, where we're trying to help organizations, individuals, teams, organizations, leaders to restart. And as a parting word from us in Ignite, I wanted to run by you a video that talks about a bit about this new solution that we're sending out to the world starting June. Though you guys are pursuing entrepreneurship, I think this thing is going to be helpful not just for you, but for the organizations that you're currently part of right now. So if you find this video or the solution that we're offering something that you need, because we're coming back Monday daw, some form of relax na yung diba? There's like a change in the way the markets are going to be open. Is your organization ready for it? If you're looking for ways to restart again after and prepare yourself for the new normal, keep us at the top of your mind, and we want to share with you what we're sending to the world by June, guys.
How do we restart people, teams, business to survive and to thrive in the new normal? One works for a big company. Juana is the owner of a small company. Juan and Juana have each received a gift, their own golden ticket to restart. Juan through his employer, Juana through her bank as part of a customer program. Juana and Juan are among many millions who have received Restart in this way, either as employees or as customers of some of the country's top companies and brands. Juan and Juana have been given entry and unlimited 24/7 access to Restart, a place of everyday practice, everyday application, everyday learning, everyday growth. This place called Restart uses a precisely engineered mix of guided step-by-step apps, experiential digital media, data science and activity-based scoring, and collaborative algorithms. As a result, in 4 to 8 to 12 weeks of daily practice, Restart helps each and every Juan and Juana apply the 4 foundational streams, each to their own role and company. Number 1, Peak X, the capacity to find personal strength, meaning, and purpose. Number 2, Chi X, the capacity to continuously find market relevance and opportunities. Number 3, InnoX, the capacity to sprint relevance and opportunities to market. And number 4, Collab X, the capacity to do what they do best in a company of others who are doing what they do best. Whatever their functional areas of work, be it product or operations, supply chain or distribution, marketing or sales, or after sales and service, each Juan and Juana are able to make the most of their best strengths and those of their colleagues. Each Juan and Juana is empowered to contribute, to play a part in their company's restarting, surviving, and thriving in the new normal. Through it all, Juan and Juana discover that the keys to restart are the keys not just to surviving, but to lifelong growth. They'll start referring to it as many others do, the 4 Fs, the 4 foundational streams. They will understand the math to maximize the most success. Practice the 4 Fs with enough frequency and practice the 4 Fs with enough of their teams and organizations. This is how, as brands or as employers, we empower Juana and Juan to restart. And this is how we grow with them in the new normal. Welcome to LAS, Restart as a Service. 24/7 practices delivered as monthly online subscriptions. To restart 1, 100, or 10,000 people in your new normal. Turn it on in 60 seconds.
That's it. We're going to leave our contact information. If you have conversations going on in your organization around how to restart, this might be an option that you can consider. If you do get into this, you'll see more of Miguel, hear more of Miguel's insight, and all of the other I don't want to call it like experts because we're not really gurus, but really people who have compassion for solving problems, particularly in the new normal. That being said, in behalf of the Ignite team, Miguel, Jess, Karen, is Carla here also? Thank you so much, Sir Sunny, and I'm gonna hand
And
this
don't
back
forget
to
the
you.
groupie.
Oh yes, Jess, mag-groupie pala tayo.
So, kanino natin ipipin? Kay
Wait, Jess, kanino daw na camera? Okay na yata. This is him already. He's already doing it. Paki-open po yung ating mga camera so you guys can be seen sa groupie natin.
Ayan. So, pwede nyo rin i-screenshot na lang po sa inyo rin. Makikita nyo na po, shinare ko po yung screen ko. So, ayan, nakikita nyo po ba yung mga sarili ninyo? Ayan. Aha. Si Miss Cecilia Palma, pwede nyo na po i-open ang inyong camera. Luan Gonzalez and Miss Sins Dapo. Okay. So, ayan. Okay, guys. Are you ready? Okay, smile. Taking a shot. 3, 2, 1. Action. Okay. Let's do another one. You want to walk a shot? Okay, another one. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you guys. Salamat po ng marami.
Thank you, everyone.
Ayan po.
All right, thank you, people. Let's continue the conversation sa ating closed spaces. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Sir Mix.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Sunny. Sa uulitin.
Happy birthday, Miguel.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Contact details, Eileen, so I can share.
Thank you.